Oh, Samantha, she is very flighty, there's a little bit of, French accent in there, but it kind of goes crazy whenever she goes on her rants, and it goes all over the place, she's multicultural, I would like to say. And I will kill your mother. It's the big show!
Yeah.
Cool shirt, Dustin.
Oh, yeah.
Don't show it. They don't get money for that.
Nice bootleg shirt, Dustin.
Yeah. No, hey, nice gift, Tim.
I had nothing to do with it. I couldn't find any anywhere.
Navigating through the chaos of these modern days. Lost in the radio.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Radio Labyrinth.
We welcome back a guest we had on earlier this year, Jeff Hayes. Jeff Hayes is a voice actor with tremendous range, a producer, and a narrator of more than 100 audiobooks, and founder and CEO of Sound Booth Theater. Now, he is going to be at Dragon Con. He's the narrator of the Dungeon Crawler Carl series of books. And we also have the author, Matt Dinniman, who is a writer and artist from Gig Harbor, Washington. He wrote the books that we have all come to love, and now we've gotten Lizzie addicted to. And he's also written several other books about the end of the world. He doesn't really hate Cocker Spaniels, and he plays bass in 2 bands, on top of being an artist and just an amazing guy. We hope you enjoy the interview. They were gracious with their time and funny and great to talk to, and thank you to Dustin and Jeff for getting that all worked out for us. So why don't you enjoy our interview with Matt Dinniman and Jeff Hayes, both coming to Dragon Con. So you can find out all that information from the links and everything that we're going to share with you. Back. It's nice to see you guys. It's nice to see Matt. Wow. We're all jazzed. We're all super fans of the books and the audio immersion, which I'm about to restart after I finish the book I'm listening to now. I'm going to go back to book number 1 and just go through it all again until next June.
You'll have seasons 2 and 3 before that. Books
Nice.
2 and 3 and audio immersion should be available by the first episode of those should be available by December. So
sweet. I tell everybody, I think when Jeff and I went to see Chris Hardwick a couple of months ago at a comedy club, and he's really into a lot of cool things. Certainly would fit the profile, and I just went and shook his hand and everything. And I said, "You got to check this out. You got to check this out." And he's like, "Repeat it." So hopefully he checked that out.
Have you gotten a lot of like celebrity fans? Have you noticed any of those?
I have quite a few, actually, but most of them have been ones that are already like deep into the nerd space, like Felicia Day, for example,
right?
Seth Green, and his wife, Claire Grant. There's the wrestler, The Big Show, supposedly is a big fan.
oh, really?
Which is pretty cool. There's one NFL team, I can't remember what it was, but someone had told me that the entire team has started listening to it.
That's hilarious.
Which is pretty cool.
Awesome.
It's the big show.
Yeah. Because it was last year, I think it was. Was it, Dustin, when you started talking about the books, or was it before that?
No, it was early last year, yeah.
And the audiobooks, and you kind of were mentioning it every week. We were talking about what we listened to and what were, certain things like that, like podcasts and audiobooks. And Jeff, I think you came on board shortly after that.
Yeah. But we kind of got led into Dungeon Crawler Carl from the Bobaverse.
Right, yeah.
We were looking for something after we finished all the Bobaverse books.
Yeah, that is a common funnel.
Yeah.
Holy Carl.
Well, I'm always late to everything. And I said, well, all right, I have a credit on Audible, so I'll get the first book. And that was it. I was done. I said, I'm immersing myself in this, and I'm going to listen to all of them in a row. And that's what I did. And now I'm like,
you ended up finishing it before I did.
I know. I couldn't stop listening to it. This will replace my constant re-listens to the Dark Tower series, because I always listen to them when I go on long trips. So the Dungeon Crawler Carl books will replace that.
The Dark Tower series. I hear that one is so awesome, and I have not started it yet. But it is book one book one on Audible is George Goodall.
Mm-hmm.
Then books 2, 3, and 4 are Frank Mueller.
Didn't Frank do The Gunslinger, or was George Goodall the first book?
They both have done a version of it.
Yeah, there's a Frank
Goodall's-
Mueller.
That's what I was going to
one
ask.
out there.
On Audible, it's George Goodall.
Yeah.
Does anyone here have a good pirating source?
for Frank
I'll look
Miller's.
around for it.
Yes, Jeff Hayes on recording asking.
Hey, I'd buy it if it was available.
Yeah, I know a lot of people would. Yeah,
Frank was amazing reading audiobooks.
Yeah.
So he's no Jeff Hayes, but yeah,
No,
it's
there is
that
no
is
other
true.
Jeff Hayes. There won't be another Jeff Hayes.
I'll be the judge of that. I got to listen to him.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, I haven't actually listened to the audiobooks for that at all. I started reading them when I was a kid, when the first one came out.
Yeah.
I became obsessed, but I haven't finished it because it wasn't finished by the time it
Right.
ran out. And I don't remember how far I got.
and he's talking now about going back into the midworld. So
Okay.
we'll see.
Well, it's kind of like that last Seinfeld. You gotta have a Curb Your Enthusiasm to come in and fix it.
Yeah.
So Dragon Con is Labor Day weekend. This is, how many times have you guys been to Dragon Con in the past?
I think this is my fourth time. 2022, 2023, 2024, and then 2025 will be.
Has the crowd of people that come to your events just grown exponentially every single year?
Every time. The first time I had Jeff and I had a reading in a room, and it was a very small room. And Jeff will remember this. I turned the corner trying to find the room because it's like in the basement of one of the hotels. And this room probably seats like 30 people, if that. And I turned the corner and there's like a line around the corner. And I kept thinking to myself, wow, there's like all these people here that people who are looking for my reading aren't going to be able to find it. And I realized that it's a line for our reading and people couldn't get in. And then the very next year, they did the same thing to us, basically. They gave us the same room, and it was just so many people showed up. It just was untenable. And then last year, we finally got a really big room that seated, I don't remember how many people that was, but it was a few hundred. And the same thing happened because it was in the Westin, which is one of the hotels. And so many people showed up that they were just panicking, the security not knowing what to do because there's no real line management in that hotel. And we just had so many people there. A lot of people ended up disappointed because they couldn't get in. And this year we don't even have a reading officially because they just didn't have any way to accommodate us. So I'm just doing lots of other sorts of things.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I assumed we would just be doing our regular thing. Plus, I don't know, I'm on like a bunch of panels this year as well.
Yeah, I'm on a ton of panels, and you're on a ton of panels, but we're not on any Dungeon Crawler Carl themed panels, as far as I'm aware.
And are you doing any panels together? I just saw your panel list today, Matt. So
Yes, Jeff and I are on one panel together, and it is called "I'm Not Matt Dinniman, but I Write LitRPG too." So I think it's Jeff and I are moderating that, and we're just introducing other LitRPG authors.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, Matt is way better at keeping track of his. I am. I'm like gonna be looking at it on the plane, there, and getting my shit together at that point. So, for me, I think this is gonna be my sixth Dragon Con. I've been in the LitRPG community for a while. I guess I started in 2015 or 2016. And Dragon Con was the first event that I went to that was like for meeting other authors, like for meeting authors. And for being in the community. And I remember my first day there, I drank with Michael Chatfield.
wow.
He's the first author I met in person in the community. And we got hammered together the night before Dragon Con. And yeah, it's always a great time. Dragon Con is like a giant fantasy party.
It's not. It doesn't have the same vibe as most other cons.
No, it absolutely doesn't.
Yeah.
I've been to Emerald City Comic Con, San Diego Comic Con now, so many other ones. I used to sell artwork for a living, and I would travel to cons. So I've been to, like, of all sizes, teeny tiny ones and huge ones. And there's nothing like Dragon Con. It feels like a smaller hotel con where you know everybody, even though it's, ever how many tens of thousands of people show up. And
Yeah, I think 80,000 last year.
Yeah,
they always say 80,000, 90,000 or whatever, but it feels like way more to me. I don't know. You like turn a corner and there's like 1,000 Mrs. Ropers blocking.
And that's also at the same time you have the kickoff game for the SEC football.
Yeah.
So you have people walking around in jerseys on one side of the street, and then on the other side are Klingons. So I always like that mixing of genres.
You got the parade. I mean, that happens, and it's a huge event. Plus, Dragon Con tends to flow over into the evening and wee hours of the morning for most people.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I have missed every single parade because it's always in the morning.
Yeah, 10 a.m.'s awful early when you've been partying all night.
Yeah.
I always get stuck on the wrong side of the street from the parade. I always have like a panel like in another hotel, so I have to figure out how to get past it every single year.
They should make you the what do they call the person?
The Grand Marshal.
The Grand Marshal. Then you could be in the parade and see all.
Looks like you're doing your signing during the parade.
Yeah, so I'll be staying on that side of the street, so I can go straight to the vendor.
And this is going to come out on Saturday, so the tickets will probably be sold out already by the time anybody hears this. But
yeah, the signing that there's multiple signings, but that particular signing, you have to pick up the tickets on Friday, also in the vendor hall, because that's just one bookstore was kind enough to carry my books, and in exchange, I was happy to do like just a quick signing for them. There's the Dragon Award reception.
yeah, congratulations, by the way, for being nominated.
Oh, thank you. Honestly, I didn't even know I was in the running until they mailed me and said, "Hey, guess what? You've been nominated."
I know I voted for you.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Between
for people,
you and my mom, maybe I guess.
For people that might not be familiar, overly familiar, or at all familiar with LitRPG, can you kind of explain how that originated, like where it started, and how it's grown to be such a popular genre?
Sure. Well, so the term LitRPG first originated somewhere around 2013, and basically, this LitRPG books are books where the action of the characters or the setting or both, usually of the story, the world is controlled by a system of some kind of video game like rules, where the characters tend to have stat sheets or some number system controls the physics of the world. I like to use an example, makes it really easy to understand. In the book, there's a character named Dirk. Dirk is a level 1 warrior. He's aware that he's a level 1 warrior, and he can pull up a stat sheet that says, "You are Dirk, you are a level 1 warrior. And when you hit somebody, it does 20 points of damage." His village is attacked by a level 10 swamp monster, and he knows he can't kill the swamp monster because the swamp monster is level 10 and he's level 1. So he goes on an adventure and fights other monsters and levels up and gets more loot and makes himself more powerful until he's level 10 or level 11 and comes back and then defeats the swamp monster. It's just like a video game, but it's told in book form. And so the LitRPG books that were kind of like this have been around since like the 70s for the most part. There's like a book called Dream Park by Larry Niven and Stephen Barnes, which is about people like stuck in a game sort of like this. And there's been lots of other books like that, but the explicitly LitRPG ones where they go really hard into the numbers started coming in the Asian markets. They were popular, and in Russia they were very popular in novel form, and then they started becoming translated and being sent to the American market, especially in places like Hoopla and Libby, which is the library market, and people started reading them and becoming more and more popular. And then for the English language books, there were a few started popping up here and there right around 2013, 2014. And I'm not sure exactly who was the first person who coined the term LitRPG, but there's a book called The Land that came out from Atlanta native Aaron Kong, who was calling it LitRPG. And that book kind of took off right when it first came out. And right around the same time, several other authors had similar books about people either stuck in a video game or in worlds that had the game-like rules. And then people started reading them and enjoying them, and they formed little communities. First on Facebook, I think is where they started, but then on Discord and other places, Reddit's a pretty popular one. And now, over 10 years later, there's multiple communities, hundreds of thousands, even millions of readers and listeners, and it's more popular than it ever has been.
That's awesome. I think your subreddit, where the people were kind of cataloging the book tour, was just so fun to watch, because everybody, I've been to a lot of author meet and greets, book signings and stuff, and not all of them are as animated or look anywhere near as fun as the people that are going to meet you are having. And it looks like you're having fun too. So I think that's kind of an interesting thing, because, you know, a lot of times they're just sitting there, there's a short reading, you wait, and then you go. But it looks like everybody's partying.
Yeah, no, it's a fun time. It is like a party every single time. I've been a reader my whole life, and I've gone to multiple book signings. I've gone to book readings and signings from some of my favorite authors, and I was always like, you know, starstruck for like 5 minutes, and then I get bored. You know, that's why I don't do readings unless Jeff is there, because Jeff is such an entertaining narrator. And if Jeff isn't there, then I usually have someone else there asking questions, and we go back and forth and just be stupid. We don't plan anything out ahead of time, and then we usually just let the audience ask questions.
Well, that's kind of how we do the show.
It's a good form.
And that's always the most fun part, when you're just kind of like, you know, you're off the rails almost immediately. You're just winging it and having a good time, and everyone's, you know, almost familiar with each other. They're instant friends because they have this thing that they're bonding about. There's this book that has multiple books out, lots of mysteries, lots of things to talk about, and they don't usually have too many people to talk about it at home. So they find a community, and then suddenly everyone that's around them is just as enthusiastic about the book as they are, and then they all become friends. And that's my favorite part, is people not coming just to meet me, they're coming to meet other people that have a similar interest. And
no, I know everybody has questions, and I'll shut up after this, but that's another thing that drew me to the book and to follow the Reddit and the social media, is that it's a community. And we now, you know, everybody likes Marvel. Everybody likes Iron Man, a character that when I was 13, not very many people knew about. And you had to go to the comic book shop to get it. You know, it was a smaller thing, and now it's just everywhere. Quote unquote nerd culture is everywhere. Everybody's into the Marvel and the DC or this and that or Star Wars. And I feel like, not that these aren't huge, successful books, but I'm saying that it's a smaller community, and it's something that I think is cool that not a lot of people know about. And it's something you can go, hey, you got to check this book out. It's really awesome. As opposed to, hey, did you see the new Marvel movie, that the Avengers, whatever, that everybody saw? You know what I mean? I feel that. And I like that aspect of the books.
It feels like being on the ground floor of something that is coming, and you know it's coming because it's so good. I mean, it gives you the same thrill that all of those franchises did when we were kids. It gives, or at least me anyway, it gives me a new world to lose myself in, if just for a few hours here or there.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you. And like, there's not many people to talk about it, like at home. And you're absolutely right about that. So I'll be listening or something, and then like at 3 a.m, I will, and I'm sorry guys, I will send them a text, because I'm like, I need to talk about what happened in the book.
If you can't tell from Lizzie's chair, she is a gamer, so
yeah,
she's only 30 chapters in, and she already wants a Dungeon Crawler Carl video game.
I do. I was like, when are they making a video game about this? Because I could be playing it right now.
I don't know when the video game is going to come, if it's going to come, but we do have a tabletop coming, so that should be pretty cool.
That'd be awesome.
That's fun too.
With like you were talking about with your writing, and you had done writing before these books. Was the way you went into this book, and it seems like if one person was asked how would you write this? It would be either you have to plan everything out on such a huge scale, or you just, I guess it's the pantser versus plotter type of writer. You know, which were you starting this out?
So for the first part, I have been writing a long time. I've been writing my whole life. I used to write Transformers and G.I. Joe fan fiction when I was a kid.
Nice.
And then my first book came out in 2003, a long time ago. I was, a kid practically when it came out. And hadn't really stopped too much since then. It just wasn't until 2021 when Carl started to become popular that people ever heard my name. But to answer your real question is, am I a plotter or a pantser? I am 100% a pantser. I make it all up as I go along. Nothing is plotted ahead of time. It is all just chaos being put together.
Wow. Okay. Now at a certain point, that has to implode. When did that happen?
It's been imploding this whole I don't know where I'm going, but I keep very, very careful track of everything that's happened behind me. So I have an Excel sheet that keeps track of all the stuff, everyone's stats, all the cool items in Carl's inventory that we haven't even seen yet, like the B. Arthur condom, the bucket of glitter, all this other stuff. And I allow the people on my Patreon a lot of times to vote for things that happen to them in the books. And then I basically painted it into a corner. And I like that. I like being put in impossible situations. And then I spend, a couple hours to a couple days to a couple weeks just sitting there trying to figure out how the heck am I going to get out of this situation and make it seem realistic at the same time. And oftentimes I go into my, Excel sheet and go through it and look at all the things that they have. And then, Carl makes this decision in half a second usually, but I make the decision over a long time. And when he gets himself out of the situation, people start to think, oh, wow, that is so well plotted. It's put together so well. And a lot of times I will set something up very early on and it's a spur of the moment setup. And then I kind of think in the future, maybe I'll use it this way, but it always ends up changing anyway. But I don't plot anything out. And it's worked so far. In book 5, The Butcher's Masquerade is a good example of that. I had no idea how I was going to get all those different moving pieces together at one point. And what happens is you force yourself to be, really creative and zany in so many different ways that you would never even think about when you first start writing. And that's why I don't like plotting my books, because when you plot out a book, you plot it out in like an hour, 2 hours, a couple of days, you plot it all out. And my brain at those 2 days is a lot different than my brain 3 months later when I finally get to the climax of the book. And it seems to work out so much better for myself. And it lends itself to like the crazy stuff that happens.
I'm curious if you put anything into the book specifically to mess with Jeff.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I mean, any other way.
Yeah. If you read book 6, there's lots of Icelandic stuff in there.
Yeah.
My daughter just graduated from college, Hawaii Pacific University, and during the ceremony, there were some Native Hawaiians whose names were like literally like 6 lines long because they're so long. So I'm going to toss some names like that in there.
I'm going to have to spend an entire day just doing reps of those different characters' names.
Do you forget them sometimes when you're recording and you have to go back and do it all over again?
We haven't gotten to that point yet.
Oh,
So far his worst attempt has been Surrendel Gore.
I feel like Mordecai changing every book is possibly one way to mess with
the Canadian thing really threw me for a loop because it's so close to American, Midwest American. Getting the subtlety right was not easy. I was tempted to just bring in Justin Thomas James as a cameo, but it is Mordecai, so I didn't want to cheat. I still feel like I cheated because I just kind of started doing Rick Moranis.
Yeah, but that was great. if you're Gen X or older millennial, you're okay. That's Rick Moranis. We all love it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I would rather you do that than just end every sentence, on a high note and just keep everything up.
Yeah, that was tough because every other Mordecai still sounds like Mordecai. I feel like I failed in book 7 to do that.
No,
it was
how you do with book 8.
I don't think. Oh, we do know.
Because you did a reading.
That's right. How did it sound? How did it sound? Was it?
I honestly don't remember how you did it, but
all right.
I feel like we're getting we're adjacent to an exclusive we're not going to get, but I still feel very privileged.
Yeah, just while you're here, just tell us the entire plot of
tell us the plot. Yeah.
Well, I'm on Matt's Patreon, and I recently signed up and got way more information than I expected to get from an author with an exciting new book coming out. You really give your Patreons like a lot of inside information.
Well, yeah, they read the whole book ahead of time, and when the book before it comes out, I will give them the final version of the book, like an e-copy of it, basically in exchange for being a member of the Patreon, and it hasn't hurt my sales at all. In fact, I think it helps it because they hype train it quite a bit, and they post reviews. And I'm happy to do so. And they're the ones who vote for things that happen in the story. They've only done one vote so far from the current book, and it hasn't even actually come to fruition yet. I don't know if you were part of that or not, but it's coming.
Yeah. I was oil slick voter, I'll admit.
Yeah, it was an oil slick that won.
How can people get to your Patreon since we just talked about it?
Yeah,
it's patreon.com/ Dinniman, I think it's Dinniman. I just posted the first 2 chapters of my upcoming novel, Operation Bounce House, and you don't even have to be a paid member to read it.
And we were going to ask you about that. That's coming out next year, right?
Yeah, it's coming out February 10th in the US and February 12th in the UK. And that's a standalone novel. I wrote it concurrently with book 7, so it's all done. It's ready to go. I'm not writing another book now because people keep asking me. I'm only writing Dungeon Crawler Crawl Book 8 right now, but it's pretty cool. It's a standalone novel about farmers on a planetary colony who are getting evicted from the planet by Earth, and Earth hires a mercenary company to do it, and the mercenary company, instead of printing their own soldiers, allows gamers from Earth to design their own war machines and remotely pilot them from home. And
oh wow!
In order to prepare for this game or this book, I watched hours of Counter-Strike videos and Call of Duty videos with like little kids swearing up a storm, insulting people's mothers while playing games. And that's kind of the vibe I was going for. So
you going to let Jeff have a crack at it, or are you just doing a print book?
No, there will be an audiobook. We're still talking about, it hasn't been recorded yet. So, I mean, more news on that will come out later.
Radio Labyrinth is brought to you this week and every week by our wonderful sponsors, The Punchline Comedy Club in Sandy Springs, Georgia. Upcoming comics that you can see. Kiefer Thompson will be there on August 27th. Landon Talks on August 28th. And April Macy returns for the weekend of September 5th through September 7th. Check them out. For more information and tickets and all of that, simply go to punchline.com. I did my first last year, and I brought this up with Jeff when we spoke before. And I did the whole thing. I had no idea what I was doing. My cousin wrote a science fiction trilogy, and he said, "Hey, I'll pay you to do it." I said, "Okay," and I did it. And I tried my best, and then I started listening to Dungeon Crawler Crawl. I'm like, I should just give up. But no, I'm going to do the second one. But it's just, I learned a lot. Not that I'm going to copy, but I learned a lot about character and pacing by listening to the books. And Jeff, I told you this before, it's just so amazing that, I could talk about the book and how well it's written, but also how well it's performed. And until I started listening to the first book, I'd never heard anything like that in the genre of audiobooks.
I'm going to answer for Jeff. I've been listening to audiobooks my whole life. Again, I used to get those cassettes on tape from the library.
Yeah.
The clam, you'd open it up, and so many times it was just a dude sitting in a chair reading it, and you could hear like the cars going by on the outside, or the guy's dog starts barking.
Yeah.
Nice.
Hear the dog. And it wasn't until I started listening to this genre, LitRPG, did I really start to notice that books were being performed. And I was so lucky to have become friends with Jeff, because there's nobody like him. It's between him and maybe like Ray Porter, it's just the most amazing performance I've ever heard. There's a Grammy Award for audiobooks, but I don't think they've ever heard of, whoever votes for that stuff hasn't really heard Jeff, because he should be nominated for something like that. It's amazing. It just blows my mind.
They just give it to some politician who read their biography.
Yeah, that's
I had a whole slew of questions for Jeff, and then I listened to y'all's first interview with Jeff, and I was like, "Oh, my questions are answered." But
I said I'm just a pretty face today.
I do want to say, like, you're super talented, like, and impressive, and like as a performer, like when I was watching your cold reads, I was like, "Oh my gosh, it's really good." Like, he's really, really good, and it makes the books that much more awesome. So,
thank you.
When this eventually is an animated series or becomes a series of television shows or films, how involved do you think you will be in that regard with doing characters or voices, or especially if it's animated?
That's completely up to the negotiating.
Yeah.
Like, who knows? I have been approached by them, but no, like, actual offers. Nothing specific. I haven't talked to them in depth about it.
Yeah, we haven't quite gotten to the point where casting is being made, because it's anything in Hollywood. It takes forever, and you never know what's really happening.
Yeah,
until
and
it does or doesn't happen.
And you don't know what kind of deals they're trying to make. You don't know, which actors they owe favors to or whatever like that. I mean, there's so many people in the process. It's so convoluted. It's impossible to tell. They've been watching fan response, and of course all the fans want me to be in it. They want me to do Donut and the AI. For me, I mean, like, just doing Donut would make me happy.
Yeah.
But they're watching that stuff. And actually the writer has listened to the audiobook, he says 8 times, like the whole series. So, I'm pretty sure they want me in on it. But it's just gonna come down to, okay, what are the actual numbers here, and what do I have time for? And everything like that. It would be fun, for sure. And I am always tempted by the prospect of being directed, like in a studio. So going out to LA to an actual VO studio and having someone direct me, or have references or whatever their process is. I'm curious about it. I've been directing myself for so long. It's just the opportunity to make it more of a team effort is just it's just appealing to me.
We're gonna need you to put on a motion capture suit and do a Donut performance.
I would do it.
And can we all agree that Patrick Warburton needs to be involved in some way, shape, or form?
Oh yeah,
his son. So I talked to Patrick about this when I went out to direct him in, I guess it was 2023. And he said his son is an actor. His name's Talon Warburton. He does a good impression of his dad. But yeah, I mean, he's like the exact age range,
right?
That Carl would need to be for the TV show. I guess now, I don't know, by the time they make it, maybe he'll be a little bit older, but it's acting. You can play a few years under your actual age. But it'd be a cool, fan service thing. I don't think I've seen him in anything, so I can't speak to his acting ability, but he seems like a really cool guy. I've talked to him a bit, and I told him, hey, try and get this job. It's going to be big.
Right.
Within the first 30 minutes of me listening to on Audible, I said, why do I feel like Putty is
Yeah.
is reading this to me? They're like, he did it on purpose. I was like, oh, okay. I was like picturing Putty like with his devil's paint on. Seinfeld.
Yeah.
One of the many questions that Lizzie sent us overnight that we wouldn't answer was, are we ever going to get? Wait, what was the question? I can't find it. I'm trying
Just
to.
want to know if Miss Beatrice was ever going to show up.
Yeah. And we're like,
You're
you're just going to keep.
Chapter 30. So
Yeah.
Are we ever going to see Miss B?
Keep listening.
Right.
you haven't
Yeah,
even met
keeping her
Mongo
going.
yet. So
Yeah.
Oh yeah, she hasn't even.
I was going to say Mongo was appalled when she asked that question, but she wouldn't have known what I was talking
Right.
about.
Yeah. I think the last chapter was they were on, was it Laudette's show?
The first time.
Yeah.
Yeah. With the big boobs and the crab legs.
Hold on. These boobs?
Yeah, that's it.
Yes. Yes. That's great on the cassette. It works.
Just to get it back to Atlanta and Dragon Con, is there anything that you like to do when you're in the city, or the restaurants or places you like to go?
yes. Well, when I'm in Atlanta every year, right after Dragon Con, there's a music festival called Prague Power, and
Oh yeah.
I go to it every year. It's the second to last one that they're going to do supposedly there, and I'll be there this year. So
Is that before or after Dragon Con?
it's the weekend afterwards. So I'll be.
the weekend after.
Well,
Where
it
do they
starts
do
up-
that?
Oh, dude,
It's at a theater across town. I can't remember the name of the theater.
It's sold out. Do you have like special Rockstar tickets or?
I don't have special rock star tickets. I just go and I sit in the back and chill. My wife is coming with me this year. She's not going to Dragon Con itself, but she's coming for the music festival. So she's pretty excited about that.
So she's into Prague too.
Not really, but she's into power metal more so than prog metal. It's both. It'll be a mix of both types of bands.
What is power metal?
You
So
know,
like
when you,
AMF?
Like 80s stuff?
yeah, it's like usually
Like
when
White
you're-
Snake?
No, White Snake's more hair metal, but power metal is, they sing about winning glorious battles and keyboards and
My husband listens to
like
a
rock
couple of bands that sing about like Lord of the Rings and like
Yeah, that'd be like Blind
historical
Guardian.
like wars. I'm like, what?
yeah, that's power metal right there.
Yeah. So I know what you're talking about.
But Jeff, what's the name of that restaurant we go to? The soul food restaurant.
Mary Mac's Tea Room.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, the
yeah.
tea
you
room.
get a back rub
Yeah.
from there?
You know what? I bet you.
I didn't know. I haven't been to that room of the tea room.
Oh yeah, no, there's like I don't know if she's still living, but she would go around and see how your meal was doing. It was this little white-haired old lady, and she would give you back rubs as she talked to you at the table. Like not like, "Urgh," but like just
Okay, Jeff. Next time we go, you gotta play the Mary Mac.
yeah.
I had the same experience at a Chinese buffet.
Was it a worker or just some random person?
No, he was the guy who owned the place, and he especially liked my family for some reason. And he would like, "Oh, hey everyone," and he'd like, he'd like give my mom a back rub while he's talking to the whole family, and just like, "Thank you for coming," like we would go there every week because he was so friendly.
For the amazing back rubs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Matt, the prog power, would Christopher Lee's metal albums be considered prog power?
I would consider that power metal. Yeah.
Okay, because he's singing about glorious battles of the Saxon man. Those are good songs.
Are you serious? Christopher Lee?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
haven't heard that? You should go and listen to it.
The metal version of Don Quixote is amazing. I am Don Quixote.
Is that real? Who does that?
Yeah.
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 Christopher Lee.
Christopher Lee had a whole album.
Metal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
Did you just Google it?
Yes, I did.
There's your evening. Enjoy.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you.
Yes, he had an amazing voice for sure. But him singing those songs, and then was he working with Coheed and Cambria? I wonder if that's who it was. I don't know. I'm not super familiar with the genre, but this festival looks awesome. Maybe I'll bring my 4-year-old.
Is there anybody that you're looking forward to connecting with at DragonCon, or trying to run into somebody in the hall, or attend a panel if you get a free 5 minutes?
There's so many people going. I was just at Worldcon, which is here in Seattle where I live in. I ran into Scott Lynch, the guy who wrote the Gentleman Bastards books, and his wife Elizabeth Bear, whom I'm up against the Dragon Award for. And I'm big fans of both of them. And I actually didn't even know that they were married to each other. So that was pretty cool. And I didn't get a chance to talk to him for very much. And we just had LitRPG Con in Denver, but before that, Dragon Con was kind of like a family reunion. That's where so many different authors from all over the world we'd all hang out at this one particular bar and throughout the whole weekend. And it's pretty cool because these are people we only see once a year, basically, at these events. And I'm looking forward to seeing people I've missed throughout the year.
That sounds fun.
Oh, it's very fun. I mean, you never know what's going to happen at that bar.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. We probably shouldn't talk about where it is, but there's a specific bar that all the authors.
Yeah, all the authors across all the genres hang out at the same place, so it's pretty cool. And you could just turn around and like Jim Butcher's there, or some of the other popular authors, and you just sit down and chat with them for half an hour straight. And after any sort of the award ceremonies, they all come and hang out, and sometimes they'll go till like 2 a.m. or whenever the bar closes, and then everyone goes to that karaoke place that's right around the corner.
Right.
The author I always wanted to meet always canceled. He was on it every year, and then he would always cancel, and now he's passed away, I believe. Have you ever heard of Harry Turtledove?
I have read multiple Harry Turtledove, the alternate history guys. I loved all his stuff. A lot of celebrities will do that. They like commit to a con, and then they just punt to the next year, and then they keep punting over and over and over again until...
Yeah, never got to meet him, but I like the Civil War one, of course, the World War II one where the aliens come.
Yeah, that's the one I read. He had some pretty cool stuff,
and even his standalones were pretty interesting too.
I don't know if he has very many audiobooks. I have no idea if they're audiobooks or not. I think Jeff should look into that because those
George Goodall read a couple of them.
Yeah,
Turtle Dove. Yeah,
it's all one word. He wrote tons of alternate history books, like what if someone gave all the South machine guns for the Civil War, that sort of style books.
They took a time machine. They took a time machine and gave the Confederates Uzis. But the other one is based on I can't remember the name because I'm tired, but the whole series is based on the fact that the South won the Civil War, so they just keep going to war with each other all the way through the 40s and to the 60s. That's how they go from the end of the Civil War to the 1960s, I believe. And then in the World War II, it's aliens coming from another planet because they don't have hyperspeed. They get to Earth and it's cavemen. And so they say, okay, go back. These people aren't advanced. They can't fight us. And when they get here to conquer Earth, it's in the middle of World War II. So all the nations that are fighting each other have to work together to fight these aliens.
That sounds like so much fun. So he's got like 77 audiobooks.
Oh, so he has a bunch.
Well, I'm spending my credits on Matt's books.
That's my evil plan.
Well, see, we can't let you guys get out of here, Jeff, without opening up your little voice vault.
Uh-oh.
If you don't mind.
Please.
What you got?
I wanted to, I've read the series, some of the books multiple times, the last one just once, but by far my favorite character started out as Donut, as most people would, but Samantha is the most unique, for Matt, one of the most unique characters I've ever read. But the voice and her ire is so good. Could you do a little Samantha?
Oh, Samantha, she is very flighty, there's a little bit of, French accent in there, but it kind of goes crazy whenever she goes on her rants, and it goes all over the place, she's multicultural, I would like to say. And I will kill your mother.
Do you have a favorite, Matt?
Well, Samantha's my favorite character of all the ones. There's a new character named Biggs I really like. We don't meet her until book 7. And I'm planning to do something kind of fun with her, I think. But Prepotente is another one of my favorite. Quasar is another favorite.
Yeah, I was going to request Quasar.
Quasar is definitely one of my favorites. I love to speak fast. I love to get in there and get intense. And of course, Matt just writes the best fucking lines for him. I swear to God.
I got to find a way to get Quasar and Samantha in the room together.
Right.
It doesn't really make sense, but I'd love to find somehow to get them together so they can get into a fight.
Well, the thing is, dude, it's so easy. Like, all the fans want Better Call Quasar.
Yeah.
Yes.
They want it. They want a Quasar spinoff, and so having Samantha hire him as a client at some point. I mean, who's going to get sued faster than Samantha?
Right.
Right. And who's a better defense attorney for her?
Yeah.
I would love to do a comic just from Quasar's point of view, like an actual graphic novel that's just a court case.
That would be awesome.
Dude, I still want you to do. I legit want you to do some G.I. Joe and Transformer comics. Have you asked Seth about that?
No, I haven't really. I mean, I'm so busy. I would love to do, especially G.I. Joe. Right now there is G.I. Joe Transformers stuff.
Yeah, and
But
it's like some of the top comics right now.
I would love to do something. I'd have to catch up with like the past, 25 years worth of stuff. But
You don't need to. I'll give you all the new stuff. All the new stuff. I'll give you my collections.
And would you be able to do the artwork as well?
no, I'm an artist, but I'm not a very good artist. Most of the stuff I used to, even today, I'm getting accused of like stuff I drew in 2008 of being AI. It's just the way I draw stuff. It has a very simple look to it. And it looks like, if you Google Matt Dinniman art, you'll see what I'm talking about. It looks like it was made by AI. Just the other day, someone posted some postcards that I had made somewhere, and IKEA sold them, and someone said that's clearly AI. When they were being sold in like 2011, I didn't have a time machine. I would have made $1 bajillion if I.
These are very cool, like the owl and the birds. These are great. Why would anybody think these are AI? That's crazy.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know, but
People accuse all sorts of things. That it's the new scapegoat. It's I don't like this.
Yes.
therefore it's AI. Yeah. But
You're not that good. It's got to be AI.
If this
I could
thing doesn't pan out, that's what I'll go back to.
Well, I can see myself buying some of these for my son's room because they're not the nerd one. Well, maybe he will be. I don't know yet.
That was really popular. The Nerd Bird.
Yeah.
You don't think Gil's going to be a nerd?
I don't know what he's going to be. I'll support whatever it is. I hope he's a nerd. I hope he's a nerd. I'm definitely programming him with my novelty songs in the car and show tunes and weird metal and all sorts of strange things because he needs to be like me. Crazy. Just as long as he doesn't go into radio, I'll support him.
Oh, before we let you guys go, did you want to plug any of your panels, or do you want to?
I'll go first. So mattdinniman.com is currently under construction. We're redoing it right now. It's going to be really cool when it's done. At Dragon Con, this comes out on Saturday, correct?
Yeah.
I have multiple panels. The one panel I'm actually not at on Sunday at 7 p.m. is the LitRPG raid party where there'll be multiple LitRPG authors. I'll be there, but I have Dungeons and Dragons live right next door at 8:30, so I can only stay for a little bit. But that's on Sunday, and that should be pretty fun. In addition to that, the book 7 hardcover, This Inevitable Ruin, is coming out on September 23rd. My standalone novel I was talking about earlier, Operation Bounce House, comes out on February 10th. And if you go to my Patreon, you can get early chapters of book 8, which does not have a title yet, and that will be coming out shortly thereafter.
I'll plug soundbooth.app. That is our audiobook distribution app and website. That's where you can find the Dungeon Crawler Crawl audio immersion tunnel and the Kaiju Battlefield Surgeon cinematic audio and our brand new audiobook that Matt wrote, The Grinding. That one I also narrated, and Annie Ellicott backs me up as the female cast. It is a pure horror. It's not very funny, I have to say.
I think it's funny.
But it doesn't need to be. It's pretty brilliant. I really loved it. I loved recording it. Annie does a fantastic job as always. I wish there were more ways for us to put Annie in the spotlight as far as narration is concerned. We just need to find the right one. We just need to find the right audiobook to get her into the public eye. But she's absolutely brilliant as well. And yeah, you can get it right straight from us. It's not through Audible. It's through our own independent platform. And there's tons of stuff on the way on that platform as well. We're basically just trying to get a little bit of a market share now. I think that there's going to be a lot of people kind of parting ways with Audible, considering the things that they're up to as with their policies coming up. So Soundbooth is a life raft for people.
We're going to have to look into that. I didn't know there was some changes coming. So
there's changes.
There's always change.
Always changes. Yeah.
Always change.
Yeah. So go to soundbooth.app and find some of that stuff. And actually, the other thing I wanted to promote is LitRPG Con. We had our first LitRPG Con this year in Denver, and it was a smashing success. Did so much better than I was hoping for. And we've already got dates for next year, July 10 through 12. And it would be cool to have media people there as well. So Radio Labyrinth, maybe y'all should apply to attend and have your own booth or something.
Jeff.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah,
That'd be cool.
You can't come, Lizzie, until you finish
Darn
all
it.
this. Oh, you can come. You can come.
Yeah, that's in
I'm not
Denver,
going to
Colorado.
Lizzie's new con.
Cool.
Yeah. Oh, we're going to Denver. That'll be fun for the people that like things in Denver that you can't get other places.
In Georgia.
Yeah, well, I live in Seattle, so.
Yeah,
You're fine.
SA.
Thank you guys for coming on. Matt, it was a pleasure to meet you. And Jeff, it's a pleasure to have you back on. We all love the books, and we're going to keep reading and keep listening, and anything that you put out, we'll promote. So it's definitely great to have you both, and have fun at Dragon Con. I won't be able to go, but Jeff, I'm sure you'll go.
Yeah, I'm going to be there.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to make it to at least one panel with you guys.
Excellent. Thank you guys so much for having us, and thank you for all the support.
Yeah, have a great con.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks,
All right,
guys.
thank you guys. I appreciate it. It's good to meet you.
Nice to
Say all good things come to an end.
What's that got to do with this show?
Lost in the radio labyrinth. We're gonna rock it like we're still